These are the notes for an element box. So down here, you're going to have your element name. In this case, it's carbon. This is your element symbol. It is always 1 or 2 letters, and it always must start with a capital letter. Every capital letter you see in a formula will represent a new element. Up here, you have the group number. There's 2 numbers on every element box. One is a decimal, one is a whole number. If you see an element periodic table that has 2 numbers that are both whole numbers, the smaller number will be your atomic number. This tells the number of protons, which are positive, which is the same as the electrons. And we know the electrons are negative. This is your atomic mass. This is the number of your protons and neutrons together. We know that the protons and the neutrons have most of the mass of the atom, and that's found in the nucleus of an atom. So if you want to know just what the neutrons, the number of neutrons, you subtract the number, you subtract the atomic number from the rounded mass to find how many neutrons. So your atomic mass is your protons and neutrons. If I know what my protons are, I just need to subtract the protons from the rounded number. So in this case, it would be 12, because 12.01, 4 below, let it go. 12 minus 6 would be 6 neutrons. Your group number is found at the top of a periodic table. It's the number of your valence electrons. And what we say is 1, 2, skip a few, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when we look at the periodic table, so here we've got group 1, all of these have 1 valence electron. Group 2, all of these elements have a valence electron. These are transition metals. This you talk about in high school chemistry. So these are the ones we're skipping. 1, 2, skip a few, really skip several, and then we're going to do 3. Even though it says 13, we're skipping all of these. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ignore the 1. So for carbon, carbon is here in 14. So it's got 4. 1, 2, skip a few, 3, 4. It's going to have 4 valence electrons, and the other ones are inner electrons. So we're going to continue how we use this. So this is our notes on the element box. So now let's go ahead and draw an atom from this. Okay, so these are the steps that you're going to follow. Find the element on the periodic table. Write down the atomic number and the atomic mass. Your atomic number equals your number of protons. Atomic mass minus the atomic number is your number of neutrons. Your number of protons equals the number of electrons. Count the columns of the periodic table and that equals your valence electrons. Your total electrons minus your valence electrons equal your inner electrons. So we're going to look at sodium's done for you. So let's go ahead, let's do this one. Let's start with lithium. Okay, so I'm going to bring my periodic table over. So here's my information where I find everything. My atomic number, my atomic mass. These are the steps that I'm going to use to draw an element, electron cloud model of an element, based on and I'm using these steps. So let's start with lithium. So lithium, I'm going to find lithium on a periodic table. So periodic table in your textbook is page 338. So here's lithium. It's in group 1. It gives me, pause, no, not, the atomic number and the atomic mass. This is the atomic number, this is the atomic mass. And this mass is going to round to 7. Okay, so I'm going to write down, we'll do 2. So here's my atomic number, here's my atomic mass. So find the element on the periodic table, write down the atomic number, mass. The atomic number, which in this case was 3, is my number of protons. So I'm going to write 3 protons, which are a positive charge, inside the nucleus. Atomic mass minus the atomic number gives me my number of neutrons. So in this case, my mass was 6.9. On a different periodic table, it says 6.94. Regardless, I'm going to round that to 7, to 6.9. 5 and above, give it a shove. So I'm just looking at this number to the right. So that's larger than 5, so I'm going to round it to 7. 7, which is my atomic mass, minus my atomic number, which is 3, gives me 4. That's going to give me my number of neutrons. So I have 4 neutrons with a little 0 because it means no charge. Okay, so now my number of protons equal my number of electrons. So if I have 3 protons, I'm on the side, I'm just going to write my 3 protons equals the 3 electrons. My protons are positive and my electrons are negative. So in a normal neutral atom, these are going to be the same because they're going to cross out the charges and it'll be neutral. So I know I have a total of 3 electrons, but I have 2 different types. They're going to go in 2 different places. So think in a car like front seat, back seat. Some are going to be in the front, some are going to be in the back. Okay. So I have a total of 3 electrons. I'm going to count the column of the periodic table. That's going to give me my valence electron. The valence electron are the very outside. So here's my periodic table again. Lithium is in group 1. So I have 1 valence electron. So the valence electron goes on the very outside. So I have VE negative. I can put a 1 there. I know I have a total of 3 electrons. So my total electrons, which is 3, minus my valence electrons, is going to give me my inner. So I have 3 electrons total. 1 of them is a valence electron. So 2 are going to be inner. So think of it. I have 3 people sitting in the car. 1 is going to sit in the front seat. 2 are in the back. So here's my 2. That shouldn't be, I don't know what that D is. So you have 2 electrons negative. 2 plus 1, my total is 3. Okay, let's do one more together. So now I have beryllium. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to find the element on the periodic table. And then I'm going to write down the atomic number and mass. Okay, so let me bring my periodic table over. Beryllium happens to be right next to lithium. So I have atomic number is 4, atomic mass is 5. Your atomic mass will always be bigger than your atomic number. Usually the atomic mass is a decimal. So that's just practice. And different periodic tables will have the mass and the number in different places. And in your textbook, it's the top is the number, the mass, the top is your atomic number, and the bottom one is the mass. Okay, so here's beryllium. It's in group 2. I have atomic mass, atomic number. So I'm going to write these down over here. So I'm just going to write down so I don't forget them. I have atomic mass, atomic number. 9.0 is my atomic mass. My atomic number equals the number of protons. So I'm going to have 4 protons. That's my atomic number. Atomic mass minus the atomic number is my number of neutrons. So 9 minus 4 is going to give me 5 neutrons. So I'm going to go 5 neutrons with a little 0 because that means it's no charge. Neutrons right on that outer have 9 electrons. Have to skip a few. 3, 5, 6, 7. So I'm covering up that 1. I have 7 valence electrons. You can't ever have more than 8. So if you're thinking at 17, that doesn't make sense. So it's only going to be 7, especially because I only have 9 total. So in this case, in mine, I count the columns of the periodic table. It was in column 7. So I have 7 valence electrons. So I'm going to do 7 VE here. I have a total of 9. I have 9 people going in the car. It's a crazy car. I've got 7 that are going in the front seat. Whatever's left is going in the middle. So I have 2 electrons that will go in the electron cloud. My total number of electrons is going to be 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. You're going to do the rest of these on your own.